Okay, okay, we are live again. Sometimes the connection is not the best, and this is just me hoping that it will be better now. The signal here is good, so yeah, hopefully you can find this live stream, and I will more or less just continue. I was talking about, I was presenting a comparison when it comes to military power, the USA compared to NATO without the USA. And my conclusion there, well, it's not really my conclusion. The conclusion seems to be that Europe, well, NATO without the USA is more than powerful enough to keep a war going against Russia. It's not, well, in many ways, NATO without the USA has much more military power than the USA alone. But this is not, some people got very upset and said, it's not a competition. It's not. I mean, yeah, it's okay. So a lot of people got their feelings hurt, but listen, this is not about feelings. This is just numbers, and yeah, okay. But we are back. We are back. Hi there, Angela. Such a Bunyip, Capey Heathen, Grasslands, Dawn. Yeah. So just before I closed the live stream that I was doing, I had to kick a person out of hide on channel. You know, that's what I hide on channel. Someone wrote, "I thought you were sensible," you know. And I think that it's important to just be able to look at numbers and to be able to look at the facts, and you know, if we don't relate to the facts, we can get quite lost. You know, our emotions. What's the term? Well, our emotions can lead us astray. So let's talk about what we didn't really get to talk about when you carve up Europe. Again, it's been done several times. And after the Second World War, that's what they did. And it led to the Cold War. And the Cold War was a very dangerous situation. I remember the Cold War because I'm old. I remember going to Ukraine just after perestroika and so on, if you know what that is. Basically, just after the end of the Cold War, while Ukraine was still a Soviet era country. I remember seeing the effects of a communist dictatorship. It didn't look nice, I can tell you that. And I went to East Germany some years after that, and you know, East Germany is still not. East Germany is still not as, how should I put this, nice as West Germany. You can see the wounds of communism there, and that was the effect of the Cold War. And the Cold War was crafted, it was started when they carved up Europe. And the nation or the military entity that won the Second World War, who won the Second World War? If we can use such a term at all, I don't think anyone's winning a war. There are only losers. But we we do get people here, very proud Americans, and they think America is the best, and it's America all the way, USA and all of that. No, it was Russia. Um, then the Soviet Union, and they won the war basically. Without them, the Second World War the result might have been very different. I don't think, first of all, in a few days now, we will see a deal presented. Trump will then take credit, and he will say, I made peace in Ukraine. We don't know yet how that peace treaty or that deal will look. But the big question here is if Europe is going to accept it. They are being kept out of that negotiation between Trump and Putin. I think that's very foolish, because Europe might choose not to accept it, and they will probably not want to accept it based on the fact that they can keep a war going without the USA. And they are saying that straight out now. Of course, they are saying it also because of negotiation tactics, but that peace treaty or whatever it will be, it's worthless if Europe, or I should say NATO without the USA, does not accept it. Okay, it's worth nothing. It's not even worth the paper it's written on. So that's why I think it's foolish to keep Europe outside. At the moment, I don't know if Europe has a financial interest in keeping the war going. I think the USA absolutely, under Biden, absolutely had a financial incentive in the war. I think that's very obvious. But I don't know what the case is when it comes to Europe. I don't know for sure, so I won't say. I won't guess. But when it comes to Russia, it's very. We need to understand that Russia, or Putin and his regime, how they see Ukraine. It's important to understand how they see it, and they've said it, and they don't want Ukraine to exist. Okay, they don't want Ukraine to exist, and a lot of people think that this is because of Ukraine. Maybe Ukraine would be part of the NATO and so on. That might have been part of the provocation, so to speak, but the bottom line here is that they do not accept Ukraine. They do not want Ukraine to exist. If you go back and you look at the history, it's quite obvious. And they have also said that they don't see it as a real nation. And it was interesting to listen to Tucker Carlson's interview with Putin. And Putin gave this long speech, history lesson. His take on history was incorrect. That was a rewritten history that he told. It was not correct, and most of it, or some of it, was correct, of course. But there was an angle there that he would have failed a history test or history exam. Okay. So so that's interesting, but that is their attitude. That is the Moscow regime attitude. So that's the attitude that Trump is dealing with in the ongoing negotiations right now. So, yeah. Now, I think also what goes into this a little bit, just as a side note, is a little bit of this MAGA movement, American Pride thing, which is, and I want to kind of talk a little bit about it. I see some comments going that way. Sia Leo, you need to go further back in history. You disagree, I see that. You need to go further back in history. I know quite a bit about Viking Age history, and you need to go back there to understand. Okay, so where was I? Oh, yeah, this American Pride MAGA movement thing, which is a very emotionally driven movement that has less to do with facts, I believe, and it's very emotional, and I think that should not go into this discussion. These emotions should not go into that discussion. This is a European matter. It goes far back in history, and I think it's something that could easily spread. And I think that it's a dangerous situation, and a peace treaty that is not really a peace treaty could make things worse, actually. And I think that it's essential that not only Ukraine, but Europe as a whole is involved in, well, it. No, I will put it this way. I think it's essential that a peace treaty or the deal is accepted by Europe. And if it's not, this is my main angle here, okay? If it's not, Europe will keep the war going. So, yeah, that's why I presented these numbers. And you can go back to the live stream I just did, and you can find those numbers there. Yeah. Alex, well, let's put it in a very simple way. You could say that Ukraine is the Kievan Rus. Okay, that's a Viking, it's a Viking settlement, Viking nation, to put it in a very simple way. Russia is a mixture of different ethnicities. It's a different thing. that what is Russia geographically now. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go up here and see if I can respond to. Yeah, now I'm not comparing Europe to Russia when it comes to military power. I could do that in another video or live stream. I think that Russia's military power is being downplayed by legacy media in Europe. So again, that's not a comparison here. What's Trina, John? I don't know that word. Okay. Alex99 says the British Army has active personnel the size of a football stadium. Okay. No. I suggest you do some. You check your facts there. Okay. No. Yeah. Okay. Now, if when you talk about nuclear bombs, I don't know. I'm not a military expert, but it's like, are you more powerful if you have 10,000 nuclear bombs than if you only had 1,000? If 1,000 is enough to transform said area into glass, if you get my meaning, carpet bomb the whole enemy territory or the planet. Does it matter if you have more nuclear power than that? Does it not power but bombs, weapons? Does it matter if you have enough to do that much harm? Isn't that enough? Does it matter if you have more? I mean, we're talking about the most devastating weapon ever. A weapon I think should not exist. I mean, does it matter if is that military power? If you have, we can destroy the planet completely 100 times. Isn't it enough if you have enough bombs to do that one time? I don't know. Just asking the question. So, so it's so okay, what do we want? What do we want when it comes to Ukraine? What do we want? We want the war to end. We want the war to end. And we want the war to end and not start again. And I've said before, I don't I think it's less important who keeps the territories. I think it's obvious that Russia is going to keep some of the territories that they have taken, and I've said that before, and I've gotten a lot of criticism for that. And I also said in a video on my main channel that uh, I think I said something like the most dangerous and scary words I ever heard was when these politicians, that was quite early on, I think, in the Ukraine, in the war in Ukraine, and they said we will do whatever it takes to win the war. And I'm like, whatever it takes, really? Whatever it takes. That's easy to say when you're sitting there in a warm office far away from the front line. Whatever it takes, what that means is we will send as many people to be slaughtered in that war as we want. We will just send more and more people. We will just destroy the land itself with bombs and weapons, and they will keep going. So that's why I think that attitude is scary, and now that attitude has sort of ended and not saying that anymore. Look, and I'm very happy that they are not saying that anymore. Yeah. Eric, are you in Ukraine on the front lines? Are you? Not really. Oh, okay. Why? Why would you say that? Okay. Mike is asking, have Norway and Sweden both given the same amount of aid to Ukraine? I don't know. I don't know. I know that Norway has given a lot. No, no, Norway has actually been criticized for not giving enough, and that has been compared to the the fact that Norway has been making a lot of money because we sell oil and gas, you know. Um, yeah, the time will come when those people who made a lot of money from the Ukraine war, when they will be exposed. But sadly, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, okay. So again, when we go back, as I did in my live stream just now, we look at the numbers. Military power, NATO without the USA, compared to the USA, it's very easy to see that Europe, yes, it would be a setback, but Europe does not necessarily need the USA to keep a war going. And this is what I suspect that, dare I say, Trump does not understand. I don't know. I don't think Trump is stupid, but he certainly has a personality that could prevent logical thinking in some cases. Um, so we will see what kind of deal they present, but I fear that that deal has will not have taken into account the fact that Europe, as I said, is capable of keeping the war going without the USA. And yeah, big question. Would Europe have the power to end or win the war? I don't know the answer. Neither do I. Um, but here's the thing: I don't think that Europe feels that, or European leaders feel that they need to win the war. That's why I'm saying to keep the war going. I think that they are perfect. They would be perfectly happy to just keep the war going. Many of these people are extremely cynical, and if they can keep Russia what's at the distance, so to speak, and make their point by just pouring weapons and resources and having more and more people killed at the front line, they will do so. Yeah. Black pigeon pilled, yes. It's connected, but I it's I will reply there. Oh well, did you see my cup? um, you're writing. It's funny seeing Trump kindly prepare a seat for Netanyahu. Shows you where the real power is. Yeah, um, I think that was yeah. I was kind of disgusted to see that. We're talking about a war criminal. Um, we're talking about someone who should not have been given a seat uh, if that seat was not in prison. So yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Disgusting. Disgusting. Um, yeah. Yeah, you like my cup? Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, I like it too. Um, and yeah, Kim Sol 22. Yes, exactly as you are writing there. The USA has a bigger defense budget than NATO, but NATO has more manpower and equipment. Yeah. And it is, as I said, it is the part about manpower that scares me. Um, because I mean, I can tell you this as a European, the attitude here among politicians is that well, we will just take people. We will just take people and put them in the military. That's their attitude. And you even have here in Norway, I can tell you this, and it's crazy. You even have so-called reality TV shows that are basically just propaganda for the military to have young people think that, oh, the military is the best thing ever. It's so fun and great to be in the military. No, I'm not anti-military. And I think that the manpower should be it should be voluntary, and soldiers it should be a profession. It should be like your work. Um, but yeah, so David. is saying Europeans need to learn to defend themselves. Fucking hell. Do you know nothing? There are people dying as we speak, Europeans defending themselves. My family fought the Nazis because they were part of the resistance during the Second World War. So, yeah, you know what? We know quite a bit about defending ourselves. And one of them was killed by the Nazis. So, yeah, you can take that back. What I'm trying to say here is that I think it's naive to believe that war is about defending yourself. War is about doing the righteous thing. And like these fucking corrupt politicians, they're saying, oh, we need to do this. We need because we want to be on the right side of history. And then you look at where the money is going, and it's all a disgusting scheme that they are playing. And yeah, I don't believe in war. I don't believe in war. I think war is a horrible thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, interesting here. David got a little bit upset in his feelings, I think. And we give Europe millions. You know that, right? Do you now? Really? Do you? So it's interesting when you look at. Let's just end this live stream with a little bit of reality check here. Okay. So the USA has a tradition for going into conflicts, armed conflicts, but they pick and choose those armed conflicts, do they not? It's so strange how they do that. Um, so it's basically the same with foreign aid, and now they are saying it straight out as well. Foreign aid is not about being kind; it's about investing. It's about getting your foot in the door. It's getting a position in a country that will be that is maybe a developing country, and which will be a developed country. When it comes to war and the USA involvement in wars, and they say, "Oh, we are bringing freedom to this and that country," a country that never asked for it. Listen, I think it's quite obvious that the USA will not do anything if it's not in their interest. It's not being done out of righteous reasons. It's just being done for profit, for geopolitical power reasons. And I think it's something in the culture, in the American culture, I suspect that makes it a little bit more like we go to other countries and just take take what we want. It's a little bit like that. And I'm sure you've seen this meme, if they found oil on the moon, then America would be going back to the moon, right? But now it's all about minerals for these batteries. That's where it's at now. Positivity says, we voted the warmongers out. Hello. Hello, Positivity. I wish that was true. I actually think, I thought that you did. But what we are seeing now is a president that has managed actually to threaten, let's see, is it 4 sovereign nations, right? Canada, Denmark, Panama, and now also basically ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Do you think that if your president keeps doing this, do you think that you're going to be able to sit in your comfy chair watching TV? Because what I think is that what will happen is, if it's not just talk, maybe it's just talk, but if there is more to those statements than just ego and talk, then you will actually have to go there and go to war in those areas. So I hope you're ready for that. NATO is not going to assist you doing that. So yeah, I hope you're ready for that. And you know, people here in Europe, I can tell you that we are basically just expecting the next crazy statement, which is the next country that your president wants to take. Which one will it be? We don't know yet. It could be any sovereign nation out there, because you can just say that, oh, we will buy your country, and if you don't accept that, we might use military power. Yeah, you wouldn't like it so much if and I always use Alaska as an example. Well, Russia wants to buy back Russian America, which was, I believe, what they called it. And you wouldn't like that. And if Russia said, well, to end the war in Ukraine, we really need half of Alaska. We'll take the southern part and rename it Russian America in Russian. So it's basically, it's not a good idea to have a leader who says that his nation will take countries. It's just it's seen as something that only crazy dictators will say. So which will be the next one? Which will be the next one? Any guesses? Any guesses? Mexico, the entire Mexico. Did you suggest Poland? China? Africa, yeah, that's an interesting one. Well, Africa, it's like, you could say people would not care, would they? Verona says, I used to like Trump, but I no longer like him. Timbuktu. Okay, We're going to South Africa. We're going to rename the moon. Um, well, when it comes to Greenland, it's interesting. They will be voting there soon, and Greenland, as far as I understand it, if they choose to leave Denmark altogether, they can do so. It's in their power to do so. If the population there, if they vote to do so, it's not like Denmark would say, "No, we own you." No, it's. I don't think that's the case. And if Greenland becomes a completely sovereign nation, then maybe they would open up for more American companies investing there. I don't know. I don't know. Where's the Gulf of America? Kim Sold. Hmm. Oh yeah. It's the renaming the Gulf of Hurty Feelings. We need our own special name now. Yeah, yeah, we are laughing. Yeah, that was a funny one. I'll give him that. Yeah. Oh yeah, stealth mode. Um, the US aid, the how do you say Doge, and all of that. Yeah, that was crazy. That's crazy. Um, I mean, that's been just sucking money out of the taxpayers' dollars out of the system. Um, I know that when they freezed all the US aid, it of course had some very, very, very negative effects. I heard that in some it used to pay for HIV medication that people, as far as I understand it, who have HIV that they need so that they don't develop AIDS. So it's kind of horrible that they don't get that medication. Um, but it's obvious that US aid was paying for journalists and in Europe, and it's crazy. Yeah, so that was, and here's a okay. Let's play the conspiracy theory game a little bit. This is a interesting one. I'm open to change my mind if I'm presented with facts that tells me that I've been wrong. Um, so here's the claim. Okay, claim is that it's about chemtrails. Okay, a lot of people believe that uh, the skies are sprayed with chemicals, and we know that there's like patented technology where you can seed clouds to make them rain in a certain area. Um, but the idea that you can alter the climate with chemicals, and that's what you see on the sky, like the trails behind the planes. I haven't seen any proper evidence for that. Okay. And I need to be presented with proper evidence. But the thing is, after, and here's the point. Here's my point. After US aid stopped, the skies have been clear. That's what people are saying. Now, this could be the weather, you know, it could be the weather. And people will look for patterns and they will look that are not really there, and so on and so on. But it is interesting. I mean, I will be keeping track on the skies now. It's been very clear. No, but again, the weather has also been very clear. And I don't know how it works. I don't know how the physics and the technology behind airplanes. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But it will be interesting to see, you know, if this continues, if the skies continue to be clear. So let me. Oh, Verona, I was going to ask, do you see chemtrails all the time here in Ohio? Now, I will not use the term chemtrails because I have not seen evidence of chemtrails being a thing, in the sense that it's a global thing, that it's being used to change the climate. I have not seen. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying that I need to see evidence. I can't just assume things. Okay? But my question is, have you noticed the sky being, after USAID was stopped, have you noticed that the sky is clear or not? It could be limited to some areas. Jeff says, no, the sky is not clear here in the DC area. Okay. Yes, the Big Shooter says there are interviews with commercial pilots about the spraying. Yes, I'm not saying that's not a thing. I'm saying that I have not seen evidence for that being used on a scale that could change the climate. That's what I'm saying. I know that there are actual patents where you can make it rain in a certain area. Okay. So I'm trying to be objective here. Things that I do, says, I haven't noticed any such trails over Missouri. Stealth mode says we can see the moon all day. Green-eyed lady says, I live in the USA and the sky here has not been clear. It's been snowing. Well, then you wouldn't see it then. Yeah, big discussion here now if chemtrails are real or not. Some people think they're real, some people think they're not real, and I think it's important to define what we mean by that. First of all, and I'm not. It's not my field of expertise at all, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Yeah. Okay. So we can't conclude with anything concerning that. I just thought I would mention it because there are people saying that after the USAID was stopped or freezed, then we haven't seen any such trails in the sky here. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on this guy. You know. Um, so okay. Uh, yeah, is that yes? YouTube just turned 20 years old. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Interesting question. Do you consider yourself a Norwegian patriot? And if yes, what is patriotism for you? Difficult question. I would rather say, first of all, what is Norway? What is it to be a Norwegian? You know, there are that parts of Norwegian identity that I'm very emotional about. But then there are parts I do not consider part of Norway as well, like, for instance, the royal family. I do not consider them Norwegian or part of Norway. Um, I wouldn't fight to the death for Norway. I wouldn't sacrifice my life for Norway. Um, no. So maybe I'm not a patriot then. uh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I missed old YouTube as well. YouTube used to be like you created a community with hard work and persistence, and that used to be a thing. Now it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. It doesn't matter if people are subscribed to the channel. um, and you have to you have to make it every single time you upload a video. You have to make the algorithm like that video. So I think that's why YouTubers are burning out. um, I think that's why YouTube has become, I must admit, something I watch much less, because most of the YouTubers I used to watch, they have quit. um, I have quit. No, sorry. They have quit. I have not quit. But the YouTubers I used to watch, most of them, they have quit. But I'm still here, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. My novels, I can't. Thank you for asking, but I can't decide that they are going to be published in English. If to do that, I would have to, first of all, um, make sure that the translation is good. I would have to then publish on my own company internationally in English, and I would have to which protect my works from piracy, people just stealing my works, my books. And that is too much work. So it's basically because of AI stealing, the AI model stealing, and people stealing. It will just ruin your everything. Um, that's but a publisher will have the resources to protect the work. Uh, so yeah, but there are links. You're looking at the link now. That's why the link is there. It's right in front of my face, and in the video description, and on the wall behind me, and in every video to my website. And on the start page on my website, you can click on direct links to different languages. That takes you to the publishers, Hungarian, Swedish, German, soon Spanish, and so on and so on. So yeah. Okay, I'm hoping that my agent will be able to secure a deal with an English market publisher soon. Okay, that's all for now. Second live stream. I'm being very active on YouTube now. Very active. And check out the video on my main channel that I uploaded yesterday. It's an important topic. It's about suicide. And I think it's something that people need to hear. Okay. Thank you. We'll talk soon. Okay. Bye-bye.